Alright, in introductions part 2, we're going to look at third person introductions. So how do you introduce someone who is not an immediate part of the conversation? So we're going to start with the questions, what is his name and what is her name? For what is his name, we'll say, comment il s'appelle? Comment il s'appelle? Note that the comment and the il form a liaison because il begins with an I. Comment il s'appelle? If we compare this to our original question, you should notice three changes. Our tu, our singular informal you, has changed into il. This is he. Our T apostrophe changes into S apostrophe. We'll talk about why that is later on, but for right now, just know that these are the letters that we have to use to match the tu and the il. A T apostrophe matches tu, an S apostrophe matches il. And then finally, we dropped the final S. Comment tu t'appelles and comment il s'appelle sound the exact same, but this is a very important spelling difference. Anytime we have a sentence with tu, the verb will always end in S in the present tense. Any sentence with an il or an L, which we'll see in just a minute, the she, it will never end in an S, even though they sound the exact same, since we don't pronounce final S's anyway. Just like comment tu t'appelles, we have the ability to switch around the comment il s'appelle sentence. The il and the s'appelle will always have to be together. So, the easiest way to flip this is to change where the comment is. Comment il s'appelle can also be asked as il s'appelle comment. Yes, we can still flip the s'appelle and the il like we did with t'appelle and tu. However, because il begins with a vowel, we have to go through some extra steps in order to do that. And at this point in time, it's too much to have to worry about. So just choose one of these two versions to focus on. Comment il s'appelle or il s'appelle comment. To ask what is her name, we only have to change one thing. We're going to change the il to an L. So comment il s'appelle becomes comment elle s'appelle. Exact same thing on the other sentence. Il s'appelle comment becomes elle s'appelle comment. The only difference is flipping our word for he, il, for our word for she, elle. To explain, to say what this person's name is, to say his name is, we can just say il s'appelle, whatever his name is. Il s'appelle Bob. For her name is, elle s'appelle. Elle s'appelle Marie. However, just like before where we had mon nom est as a second way to answer, here we can say son nom est. Son nom est. Remember, our EST says a, and the only other difference is we've changed out that first M for an S. Mon nom est became son nom est. Note that in this version, there's no differentiation for gender. His name is son nom est. Her name is also son nom est. We don't differentiate for boys versus girls in this second option. So if you can't remember, this is always a good one to flip back to. Alright, so we're going to do another practice conversation. So we have you and your brand new friend Benoit. And then I come into the room, Madame Fleer, and I say, oh la la, I have a brand new student. I'm so bad with names anyway. Sorry, guys. And now I need your help. So I'm going to say, oh, comment il s'appelle? What are you going to tell me? You have two options. You can either say, Il s'appelle Benoit. Or, if you couldn't remember if Benoit was a dude name or a girl name, you could have said, Son nom est Benoit. Oh, yay, merci bien. Thank you so much for helping me out.